Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Amy, and today we're going to take a look at the cash system and how you can implement this in your everyday life. So if you guys are new here, I do a lot of cash stuffing videos. I also do budgeting. I have been doing this for about 6 months now, and I think that I kind of came up with a system that works best for me, and I hope to deliver the same message to you so that you can also start budgeting and taking control of your money. So first off, let's see what a cash system is. So this system was made popular by Dave Ramsey. If you guys don't know who he is, just Google him. He's a big financial guru, and he is a proponent, and he actually came up with the cash system, which is pretty much just using cash instead of credit or debit cards. So the first thing you need to know is the things that you need to start a cash system. So what you need is very simple. All you need is a pen and then a piece of paper. And I would also recommend getting envelopes because this is how the cash system works. You put your cash in envelopes based on the categories that you normally overspend on. So for me, it's like groceries, gas, spending, Starbucks, any categories that you think you normally tend to overspend, that's what you will label your categories as. So within these categories, there are fixed expenses and also variable expenses, right? So fixed expenses are like your bills, your car bills, your insurance, your anything that you normally pay, telephone bill. Variable expenses, like I said, is food. Let's say you have a car, you have to pay for gas. We also have a miscellaneous envelope just in case we forget to account for something. So again, you don't have to start out with anything fancy, just envelopes. And when you graduate to something a little bit more advanced and you want to start having a little bit more fun envelopes, you can create these envelopes yourself, or you can order them off of like Etsy. I got these off of Etsy, and my variable expenses each week is food, gas, spending, and miscellaneous. So this is what has really worked for me, and it took me a few tries to get to the categories that I think meets all of the needs for my family. So why should we use the cash envelope system? The reason why we use it is because we want to take control of our money, right? We want to make sure we tell our money where to go and not the other way around. When I first got started, I was so overwhelmed because I had no idea why at the end of the month I still have no money left over, even though I thought that I was spending very responsibly and I didn't really, splurge on a lot of things, but it's pretty much the little things that kind of creeps up on you. So for example, me, I love to drink boba tea and coffee, so I usually get those every single day. And then I also bought clothes once in a while for my kids. Once I'm in the grocery stores, I start to wander around, and that's where all the things start to add up, and then before you know it, at the end of the month, you have no money left to spend. So why do you want to do the cash envelope system? You want to control where your money goes, right? So now every single month I know exactly how much bills I have to pay, how much I am spending for food, for gas, for all the things that I normally overspend on. And at the end of the month, if I go over budget, I can start adjusting that to meet the needs. Maybe I'm too strict on my budget and I need to increase it a little bit. So you can always evaluate all of that. But what you need to do first is make sure you write down all of your expenses. So how are we going to do this? The how is important, right? The number one thing that was really challenging for me was tracking my expenses. The thing that I think a lot of people are scared of is to face the truth. And I think that was what happened to me too when I first got started. It took me over 2 months to make sure I tracked every single thing that goes in and all the money that goes out of my account. And this is going to take you some time. Like, it's a lot of trial and errors, but just go back to your last month, print out all of your statement, and see where have you spent all of your money. So if you use a credit card, then just print out your credit card statement. If you use a debit card, do the same thing. If you use cash, then keep all of your receipts, because that's how you're going to start tracking your expenses. And this might be a little scary step, because now you have to kind of face the music, right? You have to kind of see where you're misbehaving. But this is a very important step for you to start taking control of your money. So what is the benefit of this? Using cash has really helped me to lower my spending, because now I'm actually seeing my cash go out. So having these cash envelopes, you guys, have literally made a huge difference on how much I spend, because I know how much I have left in here, and when it's gone, it's gone. Like, I can't really do much about it anymore. And I also track my expenses, because I want to know how much I have left, instead of having to like take the money out to count. But you don't have to do this part. All you need is the cash. And I think the physical handling of your money really makes it difficult for you to part with it, because when you swipe a credit card, it's just like, okay, it's not, you know, a tangible thing. But with cash, it makes a huge difference. Okay, so the way that this is going to work also is that you need to start implementing it. Okay, so first you need to track your expenses, and then you need to start to implement. So implementation means you need to start a budget. And yes, this word is scary for a lot of people as well. We kind of have to get you to an uncomfortable position so that you can start to see changes. Because if you've been at this position for so long and it's getting you nowhere, right? So we need to start getting you uncomfortable so that you can see real changes in your finance. So I would recommend, you don't have to get this book, but if you use like any type of regular notebook, what you should do is write down how much your income is for every single time you get paid. Some of us get paid twice a week, some of us gets paid once a month, some of us is just every single week, right? So write down how much your income is, and from that, put in your budget and how much you expect to spend on your bills. When your bills is all accounted for, then you can use the leftover money to put into your cash envelopes, which is this one right here. So these cash envelopes, you can categorize them based on what you think you normally spend on a weekly or bi-weekly basis. And then all of that, whatever's left over, is going to be for sinking fund. And we'll talk about sinking fund in just a little bit, but I just wanted to give you guys an idea of how you can start to create a budget. And I'm thinking of doing a whole separate video about how to create a budget, but just think that a budget is just a way for you to take a look at all of the money that you are taking in and how much you are planning to go out. And for me, I like to do a zero-based budget. I want to know every single cent where it's going, and you know how I'm going to account for it if we go over budget. Okay, so then we're going to talk about our fixed and variable expenses. So like I mentioned, bills is our fixed expenses. So let's say you have rent. Let's say you have car insurance, and you have doctor's bills, you have to pay for certain credit cards, and you have your phone bill. So these are all fixed expenses that's not going anywhere. Okay, so this doesn't change month to month. What changes is things like groceries, gas, miscellaneous, like what I have here, your spending, like let's say you have a fund money envelopes. I'm a huge advocate for having fund money, because even though you are on this journey to pay off debt or whatever it is, you still need to live, right? So not saying that you have to splurge, but if you have a envelope dedicated to doing something fun, let's say $20 a week, then you're less likely to get burnt out. And I think that that has been one of the things that really helped me, is that I'm still saving and I'm still trying to pay off debt, but I still need to live, and I still need to go through this every single day. And like I said throughout a lot of my videos, is that this is a marathon, it's not a sprint. So make it work for you. Maybe you don't need to have an envelope for fun. Maybe you just need to have an envelope that like a sinking fund, that it will eventually be saved up enough for you to go on vacation, you know. So do what works for you. This is your budget, is your finance, and it's very personal. So this is just an example of what has worked for us. Okay, so the budgeting system, like I mentioned, you should try to look into some type of budgeting book or workbook like the one I have from the Budget Mom. So the one I have is the Budget by Paycheck by the Budget Mom, and she goes by TBM, but her name is Kamiko Love. And I love the book that she offers because it really does break down a lot of the things that I was questioning when I first got started. So let's go back to our sinking fund. So what is a sinking fund? Sinking fund is like a mini savings for when you want to have something accomplished. Maybe it's like short term or long term. So this can be anything from medical bills to car maintenance to Christmas. These are things that you know are coming up that you need to save for, but maybe you don't know when it's going to happen, or you know when it's going to happen, like Christmas, but you want to have a certain goal for that sinking fund. So each week or each month, you might put in a little bit of money to that sinking fund, and that will allow you to have enough to save for it when that time comes. Like, let's say an unexpected thing happened to your car, you want to have at least $300 or so in your car maintenance fund so that you're not caught off guard when that happens. And believe me, I have had to take money out of my sinking fund for my car maintenance, and if I didn't have that money, I would have had to swipe my credit card or dig into savings and all that, and that would have been no fun. So that is sinking fund. And what I also like to recommend is take a look at your monthly budget and all the bills that comes in for you. So for us, we get paid every single Monday, and when we do get paid, we take a look at what are the bills that we have to pay for that week, and we budget it that way. And so if there's something that we forget to budget, then we put it in the actual, right? So budget is a budget, what you think is going to happen, but the actual expenses is what came out of your account. So it's always a good idea to budget it first, and of course you want it to be as close as possible to the actual amount, but sometimes you go over, sometimes you go under, but having the budget allows you to have an idea of where your money is going to. So that way you've already accounted for all of the spendings that might take place, like food, gas, fun money, and then you can have, and then some of the money that you project to be left over, you can put that toward sinking fund. So that's how we're able to make the budget work for us, and that has worked wonderfully. We've been able to pay down a lot of debt and also save a little bit for the future. So with that being said, I hope you guys are not overwhelmed by this. I try to break it down as much and simple enough for you guys to understand, because I know when I first got started, this was so overwhelming and it was very intimidating, and I quit like 3 times. But I always go back and I take a look at what I did wrong and what I can do to improve. And I had to kind of face the music, face like the expenses that I've spent that, now I won't anymore, because I don't want to go over my budget. And it really, really does break down and also give you a way to control your money, because you don't want the other way around where the money is controlling you, right? You want to be able to tell it where to go and how you can doing this to help you better your financial future, whatever your goal may be. I hope that you are able to at least get motivated to get started. And if you have to, go back and watch this video again so that you can see all the steps that I've laid out that has worked for me, and maybe you can come up with something more clever that works better for you. If you do, please let me know in the comments, because I'm always looking for ways to improve as well. My financial goal right now is to get out of debt within 5 years, and I hope that you follow along in my journey, and I will definitely keep you updated. And also once in a while I will do these type of videos to help those of you who are brand new to budgeting and start taking control of your money. I think I say that way too many times already, so I'm going to end the video here. I hope that you guys found this helpful, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.